Alright, this 2003 Polaris Sportsman 700. It wouldn't shift into high gear. I've had to do a number of things to it. If you saw in the other videos, at least one other video at this point. Either way, the process of putting this together here. I've got the new spring ordered here. I wanted to show you how I put these gears in. It's kind of hard to do it while I'm holding the camera, so I'm just going to more or less explain it. There is a timing gear mark right here, and there's the one right there, and these will all only go on there one way. They all have notches, like even on the inside of this one, it's not all splines. There's actually a flat portion of it, so it will only go on that shaft one way. This one is actually just cradled inside of a little crevice, if you want to say. It's a round crevice, excuse me, that the back part of the Nair sits up inside of. But anyways, you can get it in here just enough to where you can put that mark right there between these two marks. You slide it in there where you can see it, and then you just turn your gear up like you're walking it around, and then you'll know once you slip it back in here like that and you push it in, you'll know that when these are actually turning, that those two timing marks will actually marry up. So if you can't get them to marry up when you're putting it back together, that's an easy way to get them to line up, just by doing that. So anyways, we're going to continue on here, get this done. Alright, so let me see, get back here. We got everything ready to go. Yes, I have Yamahas. I do not have Sportsmans. This is actually a friend of mine's quad here, but I'm going to use the Yama lube. We'll put a bead around this outer cover. I'll show you that when I get to it. Nevertheless, so just showed you those. On this piece here, they'll all, like I said, only go on one way. That flat spot I was telling you about, this one has the same thing. So it's only going to go on this shaft one way. So you can see, you know, it's not going to go on there just any old way. I'm trying to push it on, won't go on, won't go on. So you keep turning it, keep turning, find out where exactly the spot is that it wants to go on at. You could actually mark these with like a paint marker if you have one available and you're taking it apart, so that way you'll know how they were oriented already. But there we go, see, right there, boom, slides right on just like that. Same thing with this little guy. See, there's one little tooth looking missing right here. Same thing. The flat side's going to go in. So you see, it's got the flat side, got the bevel side. So I'll do that. And well, I got that one on the second try, but either way, there you go. You've seen how that was, right? Now, let me get this out and we'll put that in. So, anyways, we're really hoping this is the problem. The reason why it wasn't getting into high gear. The new gear is in my hand, or excuse me, the new spring is in my hand right here. Put them right next to each other. You can see this other one's not corroded. It's not really too bad a condition looking, but I'm thinking, I'm hoping, if I'm right, that last few millimeters could have been the reason why, because this spring has just been compressed so many times that it wouldn't expand back out to its original size. So we got the new one. We're going to put that baby in, and this, it just sets right in there, which is a really odd design. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Polaris. Nothing against you guys. I've not had the greatest luck with them, with the exception of a 425 Magnum I used to have. That thing was a beast. Outside of that, just not very much luck. Anyways, that's what it looks like with that back in there. Now, I'm gonna get this cleaned up. And this thing, yep, it twirls around. So it's a little odd how that does that, but nevertheless, it does it. And you can see these splines here. I'll show you the splines. You can see the small little portion that's a little bit different right there. Anyways, come over here, match up our, marry up our flat spot. Now if you can see it, flat spot's there. Flat spot's kind of on the left there. So, should go in there just like so. And then this, gotta get it in there. We'll go up underneath of it. Alright, so she's back in. You can see how that marries up there like that. Now with the lockout mechanism here, you can do a complete delete. Take it out, put a bolt in there if you want. You can leave it if you want. In this case, I didn't have a bolt to fill the hole, but it's also not my wheeler. But I want to make sure that that lockout mechanism is completely eliminated from being a possible culprit of it going into high gear when we get it back together. So what I did was, you got to take the lockout completely out. You'll be able to slide it out of these boots, and then I put a nut, if you can see right there, in there to keep it extended. I don't know if you would call it extended or compressed because it's spring loaded. The lockout mechanism is right inside of here and it pops out. Nevertheless, it's keeping that little mechanism there, that lockout mechanism, it's keeping it down inside of it. Then I can remove the spring that goes from here to your brake. So that's just an option you have if you want to do it. Yep. So anyways, we're gonna get the old Yama bond put on here to create a good seal. Get it thrown back on there. And yes, Polaris, I did say Yama bond. You're gonna be permanently bonded with Yama bond. Actually, it's not permanent. I just thought that was funny. Anyways, 1 second. Alright, got the Yama bond on there all the way around, creating a good gasket stylus seal. But before actually we do that, I've got the old PB Blaster white lithium grease spray here. And we're going to give it a little douse of it just to keep them gears lubed up, and that lithium will stick pretty good to them, so that should keep them lubed up for quite some time, keep them from corroding and whatnot. Alright, speaking of, I'm going to remove this grease around the edge. I'm going to get some contact cleaner and clean that real fast. Alright, round 2. So I got all my overspray cleaned off over there. So there we go. Try this again. Get it on there, line it up. Might have to kind of give it a little bit of convincing. I'll probably have to do it without the camera in my hand. It shouldn't take too much though. There it goes. There it goes. Boom. Just like that. Wipe off the excess. So you got a nice, clean, pretty looking finish there. And let's get the outside put on here. Some good bolts and whatnot. And don't forget your little clip here. I'll show you here in a second when I get it on. So I want to let you know here that there is no O-ring that goes on there, which I do find a little odd, because that's all that's going to do is just allow nastiness to get in there. Yeah, you have the back of this. It's raised a little bit, but it's just hard plastic. So what I'm going to do Let's take a little bit more of Yama Bond, just a very thin layer of it, and put it right around this little bevel here in the middle, just to kind of help seal out the gunk, because this is the shift indicator, just lets it know what gear it's in basically, and then it slides on there and it stays there. So I'll be right back. Right, now putting them back on, we got these 5 bolts. Take a little bit of the Loctite, the old blue thread locker. I'm gonna put that on each one of these. It helps give you just an extra seal. Obviously, keeps them from vibrating loose. I'm gonna do that, get those put in there, and then we'll put that on. You can see the little bit of Yama Bond I put on there. And then after I get that put on, this little clip right there, we'll hold that on, and then we'll put our if I can get this piece out of the way, put the old arm on there. Right. I'm gonna throw a little dielectric grease on that too. All right, got it all back together, and I can tell you already, that beast is already moving further. So hopefully it is a spring.